Yeah. All right. We got to check audio and visual, guys. Let me know how I'm doing. Welcome back. Mr. Barbosa, what's happening, brother? Check that audio and that visual for me and let me know how I'm doing. Gonna be watching. So we back in action. Okay. You know we got something to talk about. Let the guys come on in. Shoot your questions. Shoot your comments. As soon as you get in here, go ahead and like. Hit that like button for me, guys. David, appreciate it. Speaking of the new bike, we got about, I think we got like over 800 miles on it. We almost at 900. You guys don't mind if I check, do you? I want to be 100% sure I know what I'm talking about. Got a little cold, but we fighting it off. 881. 881 on the bike. Shut her down. Okay. I got a lot to talk about, man. I want to ask you guys some questions. Rolando, what's up, my brother? Don't forget we're hooking up this week. I should be at George tomorrow. Don't say nothing. Can't tell nobody. What's the best setup for daily performance? Bagger. Best setup. So all depends on what you like and who you ride with, guys. Being honest, I got buddies that bring out big dogs on the regular. I got buddies who bring out something more along the lines of the king over there. But I don't have a lot of guys that bring out stock motorcycles. I'm bringing out stock bikes, but I'm gonna give my opinion. And that comes with what year bike you have too, what motor you have in that bike. A lot of those things, come into play when I'm trying to make a decision. Because this one has definitely surprised me. If you guys have seen my last video, I hope you have. Anyway, if you have, I actually took the bike out to the road, put it on the draggy, and made some test hits. And what's so surprising is that I didn't have good weather at all. The weather was horrible, and the tire just kept like blowing away, and we still made some impressive passes, in my opinion. So I'm gonna wait till a couple more guys get in here, and we're gonna have to talk about this bike. And we're gonna discuss that last video I put out. I know a lot of you guys seen it, and I'm gonna try to put it into perspective for you, what that actually meant. We got another video dropping very, very soon, and it's gonna be something that you probably haven't seen before, and it should impress you. So let's see. All right, we got enough guys in here. Hit the like button. I got 81 strong right now. I need 81 likes right now. Once you hit, even if you come in here just to peek through the window, hit the like button. All right. Uh-oh, my connection's bad. Hold on. You know I'm here to fix it today. I'm not playing today. All right, I think we're back up. I kicked everybody off for a split second, but I think we're back up and running. I'm gonna wait till my numbers go back up. I'm sorry, guys. I had to do that. I had to reset. We had to recalibrate things. It's gonna look a little funny for a second, but it'll get better. Check my audio, check my visual. Okay, looks like we're coming back. I'm sorry I had to kick so many people off, but yeah, we're back. Hit the like button, guys, so I can start this live. I'm gonna give it a like for you guys, but I need you guys to run it back up for me because we got something to talk about. We want to be very interesting. I got another video dropping soon, and I'm talking about like soon. Freddie, 64, what's happening? Guys, you gotta excuse me. I'm a little under the weather, so I'm gonna be drinking water. I'm gonna be drinking water as I'm having this talk with you guys. So I'm going dry. I'm doing this for y'all, man. I'm doing this for y'all. Oh, got some good questions already. All right. Oh, we looking laggy. We're looking so laggy. Yeah. Give it a few more minutes. Few more minutes. Few more minutes. Few more minutes. I'm just gonna go through the comments first, and then we're gonna get back to business. It's Railroad 4000. What's up, brother? All right, let me start from the top. Frank, that one guy, Timothy, Ricardo, no name. No name. You got to put a name on here, man. We gotta talk. Audio visual good, guys. Making sure the new fender is fire on the king. Yes, new fender, but it's the same fender. I just painted it. Shout out how you like it, man. I mean, we all kind of agreed to leave it black, but I had a guy that was like, nah, man, it's time to paint it. And so we painted it. And I think it came out pretty good, actually, considering that's a hard color to paint, first of all. But I think it came out really good. This man spins a lot easy, even corners, thinking about Metzler cruise sex thoughts. I got you. Don't worry. Just let me cruise through. Badboyzcyclez seats are fire. Choices, quality, and great customer service. Okay. What else we got? Road Glide Ryan, what are you using to live stream the video with? What am I using? It's a cell phone, man. It's a cell phone action around here. It's usually the best because it usually brings the strongest service rather than trying to put one of my cameras on Wi-Fi. And I got kids that are going crazy on Wi-Fi, TV's on, video games is on. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Almost. Hold on. Hold on. And I gotta go through. Somebody said, "What's going to be the first road? What's going to be the first? What do you say? What's going to be the first upgrade for the CVO?" I got you covered. So somebody said change the gearing. NASCAR and Mac. Who's NASCAR? I have no idea. You still hearing a lot of static? I gotta make sure you guys can hear and everything's good first, because my live is gonna start going downhill if I don't have my audio and visual together, guys. So I'm going to be checking periodically. All right, we got enough people. Let me see how many likes we got so I can continue. 45, I need 5 more. I need 5 more likes so we can get this party started. I got to hold out, man. I got good information. Remember, my information it goes to everybody. So I got to make sure I get mine out of the deal here first. All right, yeah, I look pretty clear, man. I don't know. I don't think it's my internet no more. Let's see what we got. Best tires for the street. Remember, if you're using those Michelin Cruise Techs, the life expectancy is not going to be crazy like if you use a stock Harley tire. More grip. It's going to hook. If you're out there playing with the bike, it's going to definitely hook for you. Take that into consideration. And if you're a guy like me, I don't really care about the lifespan of my tires. I feel like it's all in what you're doing with the bike. If you're one of those guys that like quick bikes or aggressive bikes, you got to be ready to run through tires because there's no point in having a bike that can do all these things if it doesn't hook and doesn't work. So Michelin Cruise Techs are probably around the best thing I would say to run on the street. And that's just because we all know they work, and they work on some higher horsepower bikes. Moving right along. Let's see. He said, Mac, you don't need 3 bikes. I'm in Tennessee. Just ship me one, and I'll pay shipping. Well, let me tell you this. Somebody has offered me some money for one of my bikes. I'm not going to get into too much detail or even which bike it is. And it will probably surprise you. And I'm like, if I get rid of that bike, what am I going to do to replace it? I mean, I've already built it. It's already tried and true. It's exactly what I want. Now, if I sell it, you would really have to make me sell it to you. You know what I mean? Anything's for sale. But you would really have to make me sell these bikes because there was so much time. Remember, we got time and labor into these bikes. Not just the money side of it. You can have $1 million and you can't build a bike overnight. It does not work that way. Now, if you are out there trying to buy something that's already ready to go, you have to pay for that. You know, you have to pay for the R&D. You have to pay for the testing and tuning on those bikes. So guys, before you jump out there and try and buy one of those bikes, they're not going to be cheap. And I mean, you can't walk into a dealership in the next 10 years from now and buy a bike as fast as what they're trying to buy from me. And I'm really, really on the fence about selling it because I'm going to miss it if I sell it, and then trying to rebuild another one is just a process. And there's a chance that I wouldn't even do it. So I just like to ride the bike. Let's see. Let me keep going. Says, hey, Mac, are you not running the same seat on all your bikes? Both of those bikes have badboyzcyclez seats. This bike doesn't have a seat yet. Let's see. Streaming is good. Some static. We hear you. Okay, crystal clear. No issues. Okay. My question is on bipolar. Hydraulic clutch, if so, performs better than hydraulic or cable. Now, bipolar definitely has a hydraulic. We switched to a hydraulic. A hydraulic is just a little bit more consistent than a cable. Remember, there's fluid when you run a hydraulic. So it's going to pretty much be the same every time. Once a cable clutch starts to stretch, starts to get hot, it will perform a little bit differently. I personally like a cable clutch, but I know after a few passes, it starts to go away and I got to kind of wait on it to come back. Or I might even have to adjust it. So it might just be one of those times where you can't take the chance on the clutch going away on you, and you need to, make a pass or win a race or something like that. You had that problem. Now it's kind of like a little bit easier to just switch to hydraulic, learn hydraulic, and see the consistency. I'm a cable clutch guy, by far. The Road King has cable. The CVO ST has cable as well. Guys, I don't know if you saw how I was launching the bike, but we're going to get into that in a minute. Cable. Exactly, I want the performance as long as it lasts a few thousand miles. Yeah, you get you a few thousand miles. He's talking about the cruise text. Yeah. Commander 3, Dunlap American Elite 2, really good. Remember this, guys. When you start pushing 140 horsepower, 140 foot-pound of torque, you're gonna burn up a tire. If you're riding hard, you're throwing the clutch out, you're going to burn up a tire if it's a stock tire. So you need to put something that has a little bit more just stickiness to it and let it work. Now, if you're on a belt drive, I don't suggest going out and beating on a bike that hooks, that will dead hook, because you will definitely pop the belt. No doubt in my mind that you're gonna shred a belt. Let's keep going. Those straps that are using the front, keep the front end down when racing. Which ones do you recommend? Go to Brock's. Get the Brock straps. Straps are straps, man. I mean, it's really no big deal. I've seen guys use ratchet straps. I highly suggest don't do that, but I've seen people do it. They all serve the same purpose. The funny thing about it, depending on which road you're on or how the bike is working and how your suspension is set up, you really don't need them all the time. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Let's go. What else we got? Front end down, hydro. Clutch is way better than cable. It depends on what kind of riding you're doing, guys, being honest. If you look at all the dirt bikes, all the AMA guys, all those real guys that do a lot of real racing, they definitely go with cable. When and where will I be for Daytona Bike Week? All right, so the first week, which is March 1st, I'll be doing a burn and turn. I'll kind of be everywhere. I'm gonna be dropping like messages of where I am and how long I'm gonna be there, whether I'm in destination or on the strip or something like that. I'm probably not gonna be there really late Saturday, but the next weekend I will be there. Probably Friday, Saturday, and I'm out of there Sunday. And I'll probably do the same thing, but I'll be dropping locations as I go. I don't sit in one place too long. If I get bored, I'm out. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get to where everything is at and where it's happening. But I'll keep you guys all posted. We got 2 weeks. Chain upgrade inbound. Beating on my bike. Hey, you know what, man? You have to. You have to. It's a little bit more maintenance and it's a little louder. So if you're not used to a chain drive on a Harley, it takes a little getting used to, but you can torture the bike a little bit more with a chain drive. Absolutely. Curtis Hope, what's happening, brother? Chip, what's up? Chip in the building. Did I change the heads on bipolar? I'm not sure what that means, but yes, this bike does have aftermarket heads. I haven't changed them since I built the bike, but yes, they do have aftermarket heads. Guys, go ahead if you're just getting in, hit the like button. I got a lot of people on here now. Hit the like button so I can get into what this bike is really all about, in my true opinion, of what happened that night. What happened that night. So if you haven't seen my last video, guys, please go watch it. Share it. Share that video because it brings things into perspective, especially for guys who actually get out there and do a little racing. Numbers that this bike is putting out, and I'm not talking about horsepower numbers, they don't even equate to what goes out onto the road, which is a good thing. 15 days to get in my STs and some sauce. Okay. KT, not sure where you're going, but that's good. Exhaust, you're running on the road, King. That's a Thunderhead of Money Mike. I'll help Chill is in the house. Yep. So let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. I'm gonna dive head first into this bike. CVO Road Glide ST 2024, 800 miles on it. Stock tires, stock tire pressure. Nothing has been modified on this bike. I didn't even touch suspension. I didn't touch clutch, nothing. This bike will go much faster than what I've done on this bike. Now, this bike went 781. That was my best pass, and it wasn't even a great pass. The rest of the passes, the bike was spinning the tire. I would pass the 60 foot, and then it would start spinning. it would spin from my shift from first to second. So you remember in your cars back in the day, you shift real hard and it second gear. Well, this will definitely spin second gear, and then it will also spin third gear. Saying that means this bike is potentially gonna be one of the fastest bikes out there stock. Hear me out first. In a drag race, horsepower doesn't matter, and as long as another bike is set up the same way. So if you tell me you want to bring out your Indian, whatever they make, and it's a stock bike, you're gonna catch hell trying to beat a bike like this. 780 is big bore kit numbers. 124s with 150 horsepower. That's the type of numbers those bikes probably run, maybe a little faster if they have a good tire on them and a good rider. 750s, somewhere around in that range. I believe if I put a tire on this bike, it will not only go it'll probably go 760s. Stock. Bone stock. I was trapping 92 miles an hour in the eighth of a mile. I'm sure you guys don't understand. Some guys do, but some guys don't understand what that means. And if I'm going to get on the highway, before I get off the ramp or before I get onto the highway, I will have passed just about every car that's running the speed limit on the highway. I know I'm trying to just put it into some type of perspective for you guys. Fast bikes, just depending on the build. And I have to say a build because there's nothing bone stock that's gonna beat this. Thank you, Reese Doo. There's nothing bone stock that is gonna beat this bike. Nothing. My daughter. It's good to have kids when you need them. All right. So we're saying if it goes, I'm still trying to put it in perspective, guys. If it goes 780s, 770s, it could probably go 770s, maybe even 760s on a good day, good weather, no humidity, and not spinning so much because the moisture in the air, the humidity, puts the moisture on the ground a little bit, so it lights the tire up when the bike's under load. Imagine, this only has probably 125 horsepower, 130 foot-pound of torque, somewhere around in there. But however they set this bike up with the weight, because it's only 15 pounds difference from this bike and your older CVOs or your older road glide, street glides, not that much weight difference when they're wet. When they're dry, I think it might be a little bit different, but makes no never mind. A 114, a 117 will not run these numbers. I'm just trying to put this in perspective to you guys. I was so impressed that we took this bike out and raced it against other bikes. Video coming soon. Video's already done. Video's coming soon. To actually see how it performs with another bike sitting next to it and what it looks like. Very easy to ride. Guys always ask, how do I shift? How do I launch the bike? Well, I pretty much showed you in that video. If you don't know how to do it, don't start trying because you will definitely hurt your bike. You will definitely tear something up. You can definitely break a belt. You can definitely do a lot of damage. Curtis Hoke, I can bet you can get on your 143 Road King, right? And if you beat this bike, it will probably be about 4 bikes. How about that? In an eighth of a mile. Quarter mile is going to be a difference. It's going to be a difference. Just telling you what I know. Telling you what I know. The bike is extremely quick. I only can give it quick because we don't have horsepower. We don't have the horsepower. I'm reading comments, man. We don't have the horsepower to say it's fast. A stage 2 of this bike should go 740, 730s. All depending on what you do to it. You know, after you do the cam and everything, now you got to figure out a tire and, you know, all those other little knickknacks. The bike is going to fly. I guarantee you, when all the races start to come around this year and all these other states, this will be the newer bikes. I'm just going to say that. The new bikes, the 24s and up. I don't care if it's a 121 or not. Curtis Hope, show us the time slip. Show us the time slip. Show us the run. If you ran 638 in the 8th, I can guarantee you, I don't believe you did it. I'm just being honest. If you ran 638 in the 8th, what was the mile an hour? Quick. What was it? What was the mile an hour if you ran 638 in the 8th? If you went 109, you didn't go 638 in the 8th. I'm sorry, buddy. That's not enough mile an hour to go 630 anything. I'm only telling you that because I've been racing bikes for a really long time. I know how bikes run. And it's not a debate, it's not a back and forth. But I can tell you, you should be running way more mile an hour than 109. It's almost impossible. Anyways, moving right along. He will beat this bike, but do you guys think he will beat the Road King? I mean, it don't take much to beat a stock bike. But I think we got another couple CVOs that run a little faster that I can guarantee it ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. Not up for discussion. I mean, I know the truth. I mean, 638 at 109 is kind of like saying your Harley goes 180 miles an hour. Wepa CVO, you have to know bikes to say who can beat who. If you watched that video, you saw the Road King run. The Road King has a smaller motor, but I don't think it'll happen. I really don't think it'll happen. It takes a lot to run a number like that. Put it like this. Go look at George Bryce's numbers. Okay? That's just the best way I can tell you. Go on his Instagram, see where he runs on an all-out drag bike, on the track. And then you guys come back and tell me, Wepa, I can't vouch for what you're saying because you have to show me the slip. You have to be able to show it to me. I remember when I raced at the track, guys, I promised to God, my right hand up, I would make a shakedown. After the shakedown, I'd come back around, get my time slip, look at it. And it could be probably fast to some guys. I would ball it up, throw it in the trash, and guys would go right in the trash, right after it, look at it, and be like, wait, you ran that? I'm like, man, I should have just set it on fire if that was the case. Yes, 109 is still, to say it's 650 territory, still kind of low. Still low. For the horsepower, if your bike is making over, let's call it 190 horsepower, right? You'll be pulling over 110 miles an hour, easy. Back to the story. This bike Bone stock, stock wheels, stock everything. Bad night, ran 780s. Bone stock tire. Good night, better tire, 760s. I can guarantee it. 124s, big bore kit bikes run those types of numbers. I'm just saying. So now you guys get Chip started, and if you start Chip, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna leave it alone. You guys don't understand sometimes, like, to get an 850-pound bike to move. I don't care if it's a Road King, Road Glide, lightweight bike, 700 pounds, 800 pounds, to get those bikes to move. Because now, if he says he went 109 and in the eighth of a mile, he's got to be able to tell us a 60 foot. I know what the 60 foot should be. If he can't tell us, because it just doesn't add up, that's first of all. But if he doesn't tell us what, like, you gotta show a time slip. George Bryce shows everything he does. 940 bikes that go 630s in the eighth. So if you're telling me you have a 940 bike, it's kind of hard to believe. Somebody else would know about it. But hey, I could be totally wrong. Ask guys who race. Wepa, tell me you've seen his time slip. Just because he beat you does not mean he's fast. We run on the street. I ran this on the street. This is not at the racetrack. There's a guy out there with I think that's a 128. And the bike goes, Chip, help me out. It's a 128. It's a 22, 23 Road Glide. And it was going in the eighth of a mile. And I think the bike put down like 150s, high 150s or something like that. Went eights. When I'm telling you guys this bike can go mid sevens. Yeah, you haven't seen the slips, it didn't happen. I show you guys the draggy. Tell me to show us the draggy. And I think he left the building as well in this chat. Guys, these new bikes are the shit. No back and forth, no discussion. If this bike had the power that bike has, it would probably be faster than this bike. I know it probably just sounded like I'm talking in a circle, but if this bike had 170 horsepower, the way it ran with 120, that's 50 horsepower. Just because of whatever they've done to these bikes, it's probably, I don't think it's gonna be as fast. I don't think it's gonna be that fast, but it's gonna be a close second. If it had that power, it should beat that. It should definitely beat it. If you don't have one of the new bikes, if you don't have, and I'm not just gonna say the CVO ST because you guys are gonna see soon, but even if you haven't ridden one, go ride one. It'll change your mind. Remember what I told you guys 100 times. Nobody liked this new headlight. Nobody liked the new design. It just took them a year to get used to it. And now everybody's like, yeah, I really like it. I mean, just look at the difference here, man. Bipolar is a good looking bike. But at the same time, I don't think it doesn't, if Bipolar didn't have this paint scheme, all this setup that it has, and just as in stock form like this bike, no, it's not even in the same conversation. If you guys have a 23 and 22, wait and trade that bike in another 6 months from now. I guarantee you that the price should even out. You might be a little upside down, but it ain't gonna be as much as you probably are now. Nobody wants to take in any of the older bikes right now because they have so much inventory on 24s. 24s didn't move like they wanted them to. So to get yourself on a 24, give it a couple months, take the bike up there, get your money's worth, try and get as close to breaking even and not losing on your deal. 24 and up, by far, has taken the cake. Yeah, guys, it's by far the truth. Let's see. Ben said I had a fresh 131 Street Glide from the video. I traded it for a stock 117 24 Road Glide. Now that he said that, I can kind of elaborate on that. A 131, let's say it made 140, 140, 150, 150, whatever you want to say in a 131. I don't think that bike will beat this. I think this bike will be able to beat that. It accelerates too viciously. Like, it's almost like if you were in an electric car, there's no hesitation. It's always right there. Older bikes, it had to gather steam, and then it would take off, and then you make horsepower way up in the higher RPMs. This bike doesn't care about that. That's why I said this bike doesn't make tons of power, but it runs the number. It's running 92 miles an hour in an eighth of a mile, 93 actually. In bad conditions, in good conditions, it's 94. Guys. So, the first modification that I'm doing to this bike is already on here. You guys can't see it. I know you can't. It's an interesting modification though. It's something different than what I usually bring to you guys to show you. And I can't show you yet. We got a lot of things going on with this bike, and we're trying to get it finished before Daytona. Hey, if you just joining this live, go ahead and hit the like button right now. Keep this live going. I got 117 people in here. That means I need at least 100 likes before I start going any further and giving you more detail. Jason Kimball said, don't be like TT. What does that mean? What does that mean? I'm oblivious. Let me scoot up a little bit. Chrome Works fan. Hey, I understand. Good exhaust. Hit that like button. Let's see how many we got. I want to go ahead and get this party started. All my buddies, just about all of them, I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 buddies of mine have gone out and gotten 24 CVO, 24 Road Glides. I know who TT is, but what is he saying? Don't be like him. How? All of them have gone out and gotten 24 Road Glides. They've all come off of, the last body style, the Gen 2, or is that what we're calling it? Or are we on the Gen 3s and those are the Gen 2s and then whatever. And nobody has regretted it, even in stock configuration. I'm going to ride this motorcycle to Daytona stock form. I got a few guys that said they were going to do it with me. Just understand what this means. I'm going to ride on the highway moving along with traffic, getting in front of traffic, doing all those things because I believe in this bike that has enough power that'll get me out of the way if I need to. If cars come in and cars all over the place, I can get out of traffic and get where I need to go. I use the Road King for that. And the Road King is, yeah, of course, it's a faster, way faster bike. But that's my convertible, okay? That was me putting it in perspective. And I'm going to tell you the story anyway. I call this my convertible. I get more wind. I have less in my face, less to look at, more of me in the road. And when I want to get out there and just enjoy the ride, that's why I bring out the Road King. So guys always say, get rid of the Road King, do this, that, and the other. Well, now it's just like me getting rid of the convertible. Why get rid of the He's bothering nobody. He's got everything you need. He's got everything. Why get rid of that bike? God calls me yesterday. Okay? Check me out, guys. A guy called me yesterday, and he said, I want to buy your Road King. All right, I'm like, Road King really ain't for sale, but if I were to sell it, you know, I gotta, hey, listen, too much time and money in this bike. And he said, well, how about you take a few dollars off of that and I'll buy it. I'm like, man, he really wants this bike, but I don't really want to sell it. So he said, just bring the bike to the house and I'll cash you out. Guys, we all know that that's not a, listen, let's just all be honest with each other. I put enough money into it to pretty much double what I paid for. You know, I got so much into it, and I'm not going to get all of it back, but I'm going to get most of it back because I don't want to sell it. I go have a drink and a cigar with my buddies last night. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All say, sell it. Sell it, sell it, sell it. Peer pressure. My friends are bad friends. I need new ones. Sell that bike. I said, bro, but that's my most comfortable riding bike. That is the bike that I bring out when I just want to beat up the road and enjoy myself. If I'm taking a trip, that bike has everything and a lot of power and everything I need to let's get there. It's a very reliable bike. Very, very reliable. I've put it to the test. All the Daytonas, the Fort Myers, the Key West, all those different things. Bike hasn't changed a beat. The only thing I've done to it is put gas and painted the fender on it. That's it. So he's, hey, I want it. I want a bike that's already complete. I want a bike that is just turnkey bike. I don't have the time to build it. I don't want to be sourcing parts, make mistakes. I feel like your bike is probably the one I want. I'm still backing him up. Hey, back up. No, I don't want to sell it. But at the end of the day, if I did sell it, because I told you guys I wasn't going to tell you, but I ended up telling you now. If I were to sell that bike, what do? Do I just say, hey, you know, I got these two and I'm happy? I think it would kind of like hurt me a little bit right here because that bike was totally my build. Everything that was done to that bike was just everything I wanted. Handlebars, floorboards, wheels, headlight, you name it, saddlebags, everything, motor, all that stuff was just my thoughts. My whole position on it was, give me a bike that I can put on the highway. It's going to shoot straight every time, no wobble, all those different things. That's that bike. I don't want to sell. Ben, I don't want to sell it. Anybody else who was there last night, I don't want to sell it. It was totally my vision. Yes, thank you, Christopher. Man, you read my mind. Let's say I do sell it. Now it puts a lot of stress on the old CVO. The CVO is going to get a lot more miles. Like I said, guys, I had the bike, 3 weeks, give or take. It's got 880 miles on it, and that's just me being a weekend warrior. it's hard to give it up, man. It's very hard to. Remember, this is suit and tie right here. Suit and tie. Guys, understand where I'm coming from. You'll see probably by next week what I mean by this bike is being suit and tie. A lot of guys, well, a couple of my friends know the direction I'm going with this bike, and they've been seeing the updates. You can't see the updates from where you're sitting, but they've been seeing the updates on this bike, and they have all been like, yeah, I see where it's going. I think that's a good way for this bike to go. You're not gonna see another CVO ST like it. Not gonna happen. Suit and tie bike, suit and tie occasion. When I wanna, what's that? How's it? When I do ratchet things with my ratchet friends, that's the Road King's job, man. You know, that's just what it is, and I want to keep it that way. I've asked person after person, should I sell it? Should I sell it? And they're like, sell it. They don't have no love, man. No love for the Road King. Road King, baby, you're not going nowhere. You're my only friend. You're my only real friend. So, back to the whole conversation, guys. Take the bike out. Runs flawless. Runs amazing. I'm not pushing you guys to go out and buy yourself a new bike. But if you're on the fence, just start checking a lot of YouTube. A lot of the new YouTube guys. A lot of the new YouTubers. That's who I really watch, guys, being honest. A lot of the new YouTubers are buying the new Road Glide. A lot of them, they might not be racing the bikes, but they clearly see the difference between what they had before and what they have now. Not everybody can put it into words. So if you still, love your 2023, maybe you got a Road Glide ST, a 23, maybe you got a 22, or just a nice overall bike that you got a lot of money into, I understand. But this is the future. Hey, like the Matrix, this is the future talking. I had faith, but I didn't have as much faith as I have now. Anytime I want to, guys, don't take this the wrong way. Anytime I want to on this bike, I will get out and ring the bike out. Hold it wide open, no shakes, no shimmies, shoot straight. We've been having gusty, windy days these last couple of days. We went riding yesterday. Wind's blowing. This bike is just like humming. Bone stock. These bikes have stabilizers on them and all those different things. This bike has nothing. Phew. Tell me your thoughts. If you got one, tell me your thoughts. Keep the ST in simple form. Terry, you're absolutely right, Terry. You're absolutely right. Maine Biker. I'm guessing you're from Maine. Okay. That's me. This 24 Road Glide is my first Harley. Came off a Ninja and a Yamaha Raider X1900. You made the right choice. Absolutely, hands down, by far. Horror story. My buddy goes into the dealership to trade in his I think he had a 2012 Road Glide. I'm not at the dealership. I end up leaving, and I shouldn't have left him. I leave. He's making a decision, and he calls me. He's like, "Hey, I'm about to buy this bike. It's a Road Glide ST. It's a 2023." And I'm like, "Okay, how much is it?" He tells me the price. I'm like, "Oh, that's a good price." But then I say, "Oh wait, they got 24s in there yet?" It's like, "Yeah." I said, "Check and see how much the 24s are going for." He checks. He said the 24 is the same price. I said, they almost got you, but I'm about to talk you out of it. Buy the 24. I don't care that Road Glide ST is an ST. It still has the same motor, but less. It's slower than if you buy the 24 standard. So the 23 ST is slower with the same size motor, same cubic inch, as the 24 standard. Doesn't have the big screen. let's get away from that and go get, and what did he do? He bought a brand new bike. He bought his in last March. Bought his last March. So they're giving deals, guys. They're giving deals. They're giving deals. All right, let's see. Oh, wait, you did get one. Ride faster. Yes, sir, I did. You like the windscreen or I want to change it out? Windscreen has to go. I'll probably grab one up in Daytona. I don't know who I'm going to go with yet. There's a couple of different ones. I won't be buying a Amazon or anything crazy or cheap. I want something that's actually going to work because Mr. Suit and Tie over here gotta look good. Gotta look good. All right, I'm still going, guys. I'm still going. Never use out. Thank you. Thank you, sincere and solid about the new Road Glide. Yeah, I can't tell anybody anything different, man. A cam in this bike is gonna be nasty. Gonna be nasty. Cam, a tire. Whew. Save yourself some time. Just go get a new one. My name is Maine. Oh, okay. Sorry, brother. I think you should get the Road Glide Venom out of for Curtis Hope. He can't beat that bike. I mean, guys, listen. This bike, yeah, it's pretty quick. It's pretty fast. All right, but I don't like to talk about it so much because racing is a sensitive subject for a lot of people, more than it should be. You know, when that's like telling somebody they got an ugly kid. You know what I mean? You can't certain things you don't say because people get bent out of shape. There's some certain people that have been doing certain things a lot longer and have a little bit more experience than others. So the only way to kind of prove your point is by lining up beside somebody and saying, all right, let's see what happens. A lot of people claim they raise hell. Well, you got to show somebody. All right, keep going. All right, well, we're going to see some action with bipolar. So bipolar will be coming out for testing soon. But King of the South, that's in June, right? Yeah, King of the South, that's probably the next time it'll be coming out to sit beside people or we're going to try. But if I don't have anybody that's trying to race me actively with that bike, then it doesn't really come out to just ride around and put around the streets because that's not what it's for. Some people do it with their bikes, but it's a handful, man. It's like I said, it's definitely a handful to just try and creep these bikes, and it's kind of set up to blast off, to throw the clutch, to do different things like that. So it's like having a race car with a and I used to have one with a turbo 400, 2 speeds, right? 1, 2, or however you shift. Mine was forward shift. 2 speeds, and then say, hey, go drive this car around and put it on the highway, and RPMs up and screaming. That's not what you use this bike for. It's purpose built. I'm not gonna say it's the fastest bike in the world, but it gets the job done. It's gonna be a middle class bike. Ta-da! That's about it with it. So a lot of those guys claim to race and do things like that, and they really don't. All right, moving right along. Wepa, what do you ride? How fast is your bike? How about that? How about it? Let's talk. Tell us the story that I guess Curtis Hope beat you so bad that you're trying to pour it on me because it's not going to work. It's not going to work. If you couldn't, a lot of people, you can't just say they're fast. Maybe he is. Maybe I don't know. But you got to prove it. I haven't seen it. He says he raced sport bikes. Man, we've been doing that. Show us. You can't vouch for something that you haven't seen before. Put it like this. When I raced this last guy, he had a bigger motor, right? And, you know, he said what he said, and he kept saying this and that, and he's fast, and he's from New York, and no offense to him. So if he's watching, appreciate you for watching. And he doesn't know how fast these bikes are down here. You know, it's kind of hard to say, you know, kind of hard to just show you without you actually being there. And he came down here and he was very confident. And I said to myself before we even left, I said, we might want to do the race now because if your bike doesn't make the full ride, now we don't have a race. If your bike is that fast, if your bike is that fast, it's kind of hard to ride it distance. He rode a distance, I knew he didn't have a chance. 8 to 10 bikes between the two of us. 8 to 10. Now, it's not a bragging thing. It's not bragging. He's a bigger guy, probably on a heavier bike. But the mindset was, I guess, he thought I couldn't ride my bike. But you do understand that we don't just have some Harley dealership building on our bikes. That's not how this thing works. These bikes kick ass, and we can ride them far, you know, and then you see the end result. So then, if you watch the video, he says, oh, you left early on the light. And you can play that thing back 100 times. That light goes, and I was already going. As soon as it didn't even get full brightness. And I'm dead on the light. Then they said I cheated the light. I mean, because this is what happens after you lose. This is what I've been saying is like, some people get more butthurt about it. Sometimes it's not even worth talking about. If we catch each other face to face somewhere, then bring on the noise. If you don't have a fast bike and you sit next to a bike that's kind of quick, you'll say that bike's the fastest thing you have ever seen. But you got to sit it next to another fast bike. Plain and simple. All right, let's keep going. Bipolar on the sport bike sizes, I'm pretty sure. Huh? Tire selection is better? Yeah? I'm kind of confused there. What size rim on bipolar? A 21. 21 in the front. Teddy White, I think it's to each his own. I wanted the street glide, but I fell in love with a road glide. You are a smart man for that one. This year was supposed to be a year of bipolar. The new bike crept in and stole the show. No, man, we still got a little room for bipolar. We still have room for bipolar. But the content that you're probably going to get out of bipolar is going to be a little bit different. It's not a bunch of parts and this is what I'm doing on bipolar. That's not going to be the content. No, sir. I'm going to be like showing you how I prep the bike, how I get the bike ready for the race, how I go out and test the bike, and give you a little heads up. That's what this bike is going to be for the channel. I'm sure everybody's going to want to do that, but we all know. Hey, we all know. Anyways, let's keep going. Love your channel and everything you're doing, but yeah, that needs to happen. Wepa. Listen, man. I used to say to myself when I was a younger guy, okay? I used to say that, guys, don't take this the wrong way. This is me being young, okay? I used to say, I won't race older guys because they're not willing to take their bikes as far as I am in a race. I'll blow it up in a race. I will hold it longer than you in a race. I will be much more aggressive than this older guy. I ain't throwing shots. I'm just saying that's what I used to say. That's how I used to feel. And for the most part, it was true. I'm just saying. Anyways, you know, if you stop racing for a while, you lose it. And then you got to try and get it back. If you're not constantly racing, George Bryce is the only person I can really name drop here. He never stopped. He runs 940s on his bike all day long. Sure, it's on a track and it's a race bike, but it's still 940s. It's not a super, super big engine. I mean, it's big. I think it's a 145. I mean, I'm sure it's got crazy compression and all those other things, but how much horsepower does it make? 200 and some change, probably. 205, somewhere around in there. Yeah, that's a fast bike. That's a fast rider. You can't just say anybody can ride like that and anybody's bike is that fast. He's a professional. He's won titles. Moving right along. All right, sorry. Let me see how many likes we got. Come on, get me to 100. We're going to keep going. Get me to 100. I need 5 more. Get me to 100. We got a lot of people watching, but not a lot of people liking. Curtis, did you take your like back? Put it back up there, man. Terry Sweat said, did you know the buddy from Palm Coast Harley Davidson? I think that's where he worked. He showed you the ST late at night. Is here in Washington, D.C., HD as a manager. Yes. Stogie. I think that's who you're talking about. Yeah, he left and went up to Washington to take a better position, as a matter of fact. Yep. Let's see. Let me go back up because I know I missed a bunch. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Okay. I got some interesting things to say here. 24 and up. Come on, Mac. What are you going to lead us in? So we need a little something done to the CVO. When I show you the CVO, you're going to be like, shit, it was a good idea. Nobody's doing what I'm doing. Trust me, by far, hands down, nobody. Exhaust? I might. No time soon. But that'll be that. Even if you guys know what I have, you don't know what's in the box. And there's a story behind that exhaust. It's going to be a good one. Excuse me. Just picked up a 2023 CVO with the VVT after riding it. Oh, after riding a lowrider SC. The ride is amazing. This thing is quick for a stock, I got to say. You got to turn the bike up. Turn the bike up, too. You'll love that bike. I like the bike stock. There's nothing anybody can tell me. As much fun as I've had on this bike, I haven't had that much fun on any bike. From my sport bikes to bipolar, well, I haven't had fun on bipolar. But not without the risk. You know, bipolar, if you risk a couple of things, hurting yourself and hurting that damn bike. The Road King, I have a lot of fun riding that bike. It's my super cruiser, but 2024 ST, man, is the truth. Matte shine on the paint correction, polish on the new ST. Yes, sir. If you're going to get a bike with a high finish, you need to get the paint correction on it. Brings out more of it, makes you want to keep it clean. I know some guys that never wash their bikes. And I don't know how they live like that. But a black bike especially, and remember now, black is not even the base color anymore. So if you get a black bike, keep it taken care of. Take care of that bike. All right. Let's see. I need a draggy and a tire so we can get a time. Yeah, man. But it's a never-ending battle once you do it. You'll be back next month, getting more work done to the bike. All right, keep going. Clockworks 10-inch dark smoke. It looks great, and you can see right through it. Main biker. You're talking about talk over there. Looks like you got some new boards. Trust you need a Venom for Curtis. Yeah. Are street glides really that bad? You can ask half of the chat right now, are street glides really that bad? Guys that tell you that street glides are not bad are not riding them like that. 70 miles an hour, I'm sure a street glide is okay. You start hitting 80 and 85, that's where it starts to get a little squirrely. Now you say, why would I need to go 80, 85? Because the traffic behind you is going 80. What are you gonna do? Move all the way over to the right? Yeah, and they're doing 75. So now you gotta figure out where you can stay so you don't get run over, especially if you're a highway rider. If you're street riding, street glide is the way to go. If you're hitting that road, road glide is the way to go. Bipolar is a sport bike. Sport bike size. My bike ain't fast, but his is. Okay, yeah, we got to that already. No, I'm just cruising. We still talking about that race. He wasn't even close. I didn't mean to bring it up, but they start firing shots with Curtis Hoke. I'm 50 years old, bro, been around the block. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You got to understand. There's a difference between a 50-year-old and a 20-something-year-old. The balls are different, first of all. 50, you got kids, you got things to think about, you got to go to work tomorrow. All that shit runs through your head. If you ever stop racing, you start to lose that stuff. If you're not doing this constantly, you start to lose it. The older you get, that's what's going to happen. I don't care what this says. You got to look at those wobbles and say, hey, nah, we ain't got it no more. It is what it is. Chip. Chip, I think you should race Curtis. Hey. Oh, we got 119. Okay, we up there. All right, we got 106, man. Keep it going. You come in here, you hit the like button and say whatever you want to say. This is no holds bars. We ain't got no friends in here today. It's usually a safe place, but you ain't got no friends in here today. Let's see. Anything a little easy for beginners coming into the lifestyle. Be aware of the cash you're going to spend and have fun. Don't try to keep up. J-Dub, you said it. You hit the nail on the head. Stock bike, you don't need to do anything to it. Just go ride it. Put some slip-ons on it if you want to hear some noise. You couldn't do this on a 107. You couldn't do this on a 103. You couldn't do this. Yeah, I mean, you get away with it on a 114, but it's night and day difference between the older bikes and the new bikes. I'm telling you this because it's been tried before. We've tried it. Guys. I know what I'm talking about. I'm going to keep going. It ain't cheap, and it ain't for the weak. But there's a way to get around all those things. Before, if you had a 107, 114, you needed to do a bunch of things to it to get it right. I've told you guys this story 100 times. You need $10,000 to make those bikes exactly what you want. Now, you might say, oh, $10,000 is a lot of money, but you don't realize that you put $10,000 in these bikes without even blinking. When you did your handlebars, that was $1,000. You bought the bars and the labor and potentially the cables. That's just on the handlebars. You're not going to ride that seat. You're not going to let that windshield sit there. You're probably going to want to upgrade your floorboards and your brake pedal, your rotors. You want to upgrade all those things to make it personal to you. That's what you want to do. You're 10 grand in once you hit that exhaust and then you get it tuned, and especially if you want to put a cam in the bike. 10,000. I just named 5 parts that made $10,000. It's not for the weak, it's not for the cheap, but let me text that. It's not for the weak and not for the cheap. Man, I got to save that one. But at the same time, guys, you get on a 24, take your time. You ain't got to be a millionaire either. I'm reading. All right. Big Rooster Show. He said he prefers the street glide over the road glides. I love all the Harleys through Kings of Glides. I get it. I get it. To each his own. Hey, LA Lakers. He said, old man strength, brother. You're right. But an old man only got about 5 to 10 seconds of fight in him. After that. All right, I'm done talking about it. Street Glide over 90 is a death trap. Cerrero 4000. I know him. Talk to him all the time. Just seen him the other day. He's got a badass bike. Badass street glide. Fast fucking street glide. BSTs, carbon wheels, got everything, stabilizers, everything you need on those bikes. Bike still wobbles. We have flat land out here. Me and him talked about this. We don't have the twisties where we're only going 50 and 60 and all those things. No, flat. If you guys know what Highway 27 is, it'll run all the way out of Florida. 995 all the way out of Florida, flat. You think we're gonna sit up here and do 65 to 70 miles an hour? You're crazy. Not what we're building. Not what we're building. No, absolutely not. All right, let's keep going. Okay, hold on. I got some things to say here. We got a few people in here, so let's talk. Sorry, folks, I split the line on a Harley Davidson Street Glide Special, and then you got a Challenger Elite. Straight out the blocks, the Elite holds its own, no additives, but that's a whole nother conversation. You're right. I'm not saying it's a bad bike either. Big Rooster looking otherwise, no issues at all. LA Speedway. Okay, money adds up. Hit that like button. How much more narrow is the CVO ST fairing? Then this one? I don't know. Whatever they did, they figured it out and got it right. Main biker say, okay, so he put the side fairing on. I almost want to say it's a must because my special has it. And that shit was expensive for that bike, just to let you guys know. I think I paid almost $800 just for, because I got it from Harley. I didn't get it aftermarket. Especially if that Street Glide has big power, 90 miles an hour, yeah, it'll get there like that. So I should trade my 21 Road Glide in for, All right, he said, so I should trade in my 21 Road Glide Special for a 24 before you take it to George. Can somebody else answer that question? Because if I say it, I might sound like I'm just talking. I'm not going to answer that question. I've completed several saddle sores with a buddy that rides a Road Glide, and I have a Street Glide by what you like and what you ride. Man, yes, listen, not everybody's out there riding 90 miles an hour. Not everybody's out there riding even 80 miles an hour. But in case you do, or you have to, you want to make sure that bike shoots straight. That wobble, that's always usually comes up in the topic of conversation, guys. We were supposed to be talking about what the bike did on the street the other day, but all right, that conversation's gone. Street Glide at 100, my head wobbles. Yes. Some say it's the fairing, some say it's the neck bearing, some say it's the windshield. It's too many probabilities to try and narrow it down. Basically, if you take the whole front end off the bike, you'll be all right. Well, then you got a Road King. That's what I've been saying the whole time. Get a Road King. All right, moving right along. God bless all of them here and shining besides up, ladies and gentlemen. Then let's go appreciate. Yep, appreciate the bike you do have, guys. Yes, then take it to George. Yep, take it to George. Get the 24, take it to George. Absolutely. Man, there's like 5 different people said, sell that old Road Glide. If you have a stock 21 that's thinking about putting the money down like my 22 ST sometime. Okay. So, I've given you guys my opinion. I've given you guys the truth. I've put it on paper. I've put it on the road. I've tested it. I've shown you everything I can show you, and not even in the best conditions. If you watched, when I shift the bike does not move around. I'm at 90 miles an hour. When I shut it down, the bike does not move around. It's kind of hard to beat, guys. It's really kind of hard to beat. Road Glide to 112 in a few seconds. All right, so we're talking about the top end speed on these bikes now, right? Still no wobble at 120. Guys, don't look at me funny when I say that, because I need to know. I'm out here testing what I paid for. I want to know. If they put the speed limiter at 85, then that's it. But they didn't. They put the speed limiter at 120 for a reason. They had to test it. They had to test it to say, hey, here's 120 over the 112 or 109, because I think that's probably all it realistically does. And it might do 118, you know, maybe not a solid 120, but it gets up there and it'll stay there. BSTs for the ST. Oh, and it's a late breaker. Jeremy. I know it is. Jeremy. Tell them to give you 3 wheels. So I only got to buy one when you buy yours, because carbon wheels are very expensive. Very expensive, guys. I mean, that's can complete a bike with what you're paying for with a set of wheels. That can complete a bike. Bars, stage 2, and a seat probably. I'm just being honest. All right, I'm still going. I got a few more minutes, guys. I got like 10 more minutes. Let's see what else we got. Guys, show the Road King some love, okay? I told you the story. The guy wants to buy it. I'm really not down to sell it. Well, it's my baby, man. That is it's still up there. I mean, the ST is coming. It's coming, but it's still my baby. This is just like one that is, you know, that's not even on the same planet, but that bike, I spent X amount of dollars getting my bike done at All-American-Cycles. Sold it the next week. Street Glide wobble over, well over, like it says, Street Glide wobble like hell over 100. The new 24 stays straight at 100, no wobble. Ben's my boy, man. Me and Ben hung out the other day, and I told Ben, we need to get some miles on these bikes. You know, I want to get my first oil change before I go to Daytona. And I told Ben, hey, you got to just get out and ride. Because I was going to bring out the Road King, but he said, nah, bring the new bike, man. Bring the new bike. With good reason, though. Good reason. And he's been, remember, always been a Street Glide guy. Always been a Street Glide guy, because more sport bike guys come from Street Glides. And Street Glides tend to look better when you're looking at both bikes for the first time. I always say, if it said Street Glide, it's for the street. If it said Road Glide, somebody knew something. They changed fairings for a reason. The 24s took all of what they figured out in the last 6-7 years of making that shark nose fairing, because you see all the YouTubers are going shark nose, of course, and put it into a bike that they went to, you know, actual racers, actual aftermarket guys and the racers to build. What do we need to do? Now, let's put this bike in the wind tunnel. That was first. I think the bike just stays planted. I think how this is maybe a little bit more angled up versus how this is angled down, and it looks like it just accepts the wind. This looks like it's turbulent, because it's almost like driving a school bus as fast as you can. Well, that ain't gonna do us no good. You put a little nose on it, which is what they did here, night and day difference. When you take each one of these bikes up off the kickstand, lean it up, you would rather go back and park this bike and go take your test ride with this. Just go do that. You don't believe me? If you feel like you're getting a good deal with one of these, I understand. But if you're making payments, the payments are not that much difference. Let's call it what it is. If the payments are not that much difference, just go get yourself a brand new bike. If you can get a used 24, good luck, because I don't even know anybody who would be getting rid of a 24. What are you gonna get? All right, getting back to it. All right, Mac the ST is solid, straight as an arrow. 100 miles an hour, even the crosswinds this weekend. Sorrero 4000. I saw him going down the highway the other day, and I knew it was him. I'm going north, he's going south, and I knew it was him because I was like, yep, that's the CVO ST. There's not a lot out there, not a lot of black ones, not like they used to be. And I could tell, he's enjoying it. Enjoy that bike, man. He told me the story about his street glide and the wobble, and I was like, yeah, no, that's not where it's at, man. And it's kind of hard to tell a guy that, hey, you got the wrong bike. But he was able to accept it, and he went out and bought the right thing. Harley, if I'm making you any money, hook me up. Give me something for free. Shoot me a t-shirt, something. Anyways, the new street glide's nose looks more aerodynamic, so I can understand less wobble than the old ones. Probably less wobble. Probably still gonna wobble. I know a guy that says his bike wobbles. Brand new bike. Mac, what about this question? Are you going to change the gears? Am I going to change the gear or keep it stock? I'm not going. Whatever I say, y'all gonna say I'm lying. This bike is staying stock, okay? Stock. I'm not changing the gearing. I'm not changing anything. I don't even want to put a pipe on it. So Wepa CVO says, King of the Baggers race road glides, period. What he doesn't know, that they're road kings and not road glides. All right. Let's keep it going. Like I said, I'm gonna probably keep the gearing stock. I like the low end grunt. It doesn't, now you don't need the power when you got low end grunt. It's gonna tear the tire up, but if you wanted to stretch his legs on the other end, you have to change the gear. The Road King in the go-to, it's your fallback bike. That's the one you can chill and totally enjoy. Sorrero was with me when we went to Fort Myers. Took a part of the ride, and I was just laid back chilling. Bike shoots straight every time. I don't care how windy it is. Bike shoots straight. Appreciate you coming in and sharing the knowledge. Why you don't feel good. Hey, I appreciate you guys for sticking around. Let me see how many likes I got. Pump those likes up. Okay, we got enough. I'm happy with it. Guys, I got 3 more minutes. Get your questions in, and I got to go to bed. I got to take some medicine, and I got to get ready to get some stuff done tomorrow. Yeah. Going over a few things. I will be in Daytona March 1st. The guys that are coming down, I'm doing a burn and turn, so I'm not actually staying. The next weekend I will be staying. So I think I'm coming in on the 7th and 8th, and I'll be climbing out of there. I will be dropping where I am, my locations. I'll be telling you guys, so you make sure you keep up with Instagram. I will be just dropping hints and how long I'm going to be there. I'll try and get you guys the addresses. I'm going to be doing a lot of daytime things. I'll be everywhere. So if you guys want to link up, just hit me up. We're going to do a ride from one place to another. I'm down for that. I also want to do the actual ride that's up A1A. So if you guys are going to take that ride, let me know. What else we got going on? I think that's about it, guys. Okay. Let me just go back, get you in Daytona. Yeah, I'm enjoying him. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me, guys. If you got any questions, hit me on the Real Official Mac. Don't forget to like, share these videos, comment on the videos as well as the lives every Sunday, 8 o'clock. If there's any topics to discuss, the videos I will definitely discuss. But we see where this bike sits. We see where it's at in my heart at this point. Guys, if I turn this camera around, you would see a slew of parts that I have for this bike. I was gonna give you guys a part today, but we didn't hit 130. I was looking for 130 today. We kind of got close, but we didn't quite make it. So there will be another video dropping very, 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 very soon. Check that video out. It's pretty much confirming everything we talked about today. But guys, until the next time, I appreciate you for watching, joining, subscribing. Until the next time, peace.